do companies need to do when it comes to their product data? Do they need to enrich their product data? At some level, the answer is sort of an obvious yes, right? You want your product information to be as meaningful and as and as valuable, as detailed as possible. The way we see it, what's not obvious about this process is really, how do consumers think about your product? How do consumers talk about your product? You may choose to describe a dress as flowy, right? But your customer may not describe it as flowy, right? Maybe your customer describes it as, I don't know, loose or billowy or whatever. I don't know. But this is sort of the point, right? As human beings, we may choose to describe products in certain ways, and those descriptions may be objectively fine, but subjectively, these may not be fine. These may not be the ways your customers are actually talking about the product. Now, when you have that mismatch, this is clearly problematic, right? And so the goal over here is to kind of cross that chasm, to bridge that chasm between how you talk about your product and how your customer is potentially talking about your product. And that's really the meta problem you need to solve as you think about enriching your product data. There is a bit of a process over here related to, do we need to explicitly enrich the product data? Well, when it comes to search and discovery, you don't need to explicitly enrich your product data. You just need to have an engine that's kind of able to do this, that's able to kind of cross that chasm to bridge the gap between how a customer talks about a product and how you're talking about the product. That doesn't mean you need to go in there and sort of say, hey, listen, flowy and billowy and whatever, these mean the same thing. When it comes, however, to mechanisms where your product information is going to be scraped, right? Then yes, there is potentially a ton of value, in giving thought to what content you're actually putting out there, be it content that's explicitly on the page that the consumer sees, or content that's somewhat hidden that a consumer doesn't see, but a scraping agent might.